What kind of girlfriend do you think Jessica is? Would she be so sweet and feminine and loving and supportive? Or would Jessica probably be more selfish, texting you to pick up Oreos on your way home from the gym? Jeffrey was so happy when he finally got into a relationship, but his life isn't even better now. In fact, it's a little bit worse. And this is a common problem that so many young men face. They eventually improve themselves, finally get a girlfriend, and it turns out that she's a loser. And worst of all, she doesn't even like you or care about your work or your goals or your ambitions and dreams. Anastasia. Anastasia is a fine young woman, and she would make any man so happy to be with her. And so, of course, she chooses the best man, Adonis. Together they have such a beautiful, polarized relationship where Adonis is truly masculine and Anastasia is truly feminine. This means that they complement each other just like I do with white women. By watching this video, you're showing us that you are a young man on self-improvement. You're out there right now trying to improve your life. Maybe you've got into the gym, you started working harder, and you've taken a big step back from all of the distractions that you see your friends on, like social media, porn, and video games. That means that you're improving your ability to attract a girlfriend, but you may go through the same huge, honestly, life-changing problem that so many guys go through that I really want to try and help you with. So many guys get onto self-improvement, improve themselves, but don't end up improving their selection of women just because, you know, you do have this little sense of loneliness inside of you. Like, you've experienced a lot of your life without really getting much attraction from women, and so when you finally do get elements of attraction from some women, you jump straight onto it because, you know, finally girls are into you, you know, finally you're having sex. And usually the first girls that you date in your life, they're not that high quality. And so this trap that is set out there for men like you who are trying to improve themselves, you'll end up getting into a relationship with an unsupportive woman. Now, what do I mean by unsupportive? A girl who's unsupportive may still have some fun times with you, may still laugh with you, and, you know, maybe you'll date and have like a good time with her, but she won't really ever think or care or invest herself into your work or your purpose or your goals or your dreams or your ambitions. And someone else might say to us, well, she doesn't need to. She doesn't need to care about your work or anything. She's her own person. She should care about her own stuff. Well, okay, fair enough. But if that is the personality that she's gonna hold, well, clearly then she doesn't really want to be in a relationship, because a relationship is about us coming together to unite as like a whole, and it's only gonna work if both of us actually want to invest in the other person. There's some people out there who think that a girl shouldn't even be like nice or caring towards her boyfriend. Like, there's people who have this belief. It makes no sense to us, because obviously the point of a relationship is to complement each other's lives. And so a woman's support is one of the best things that she can kind of give you in a relationship. Now, I'm gonna say something which is totally unsexy. It kind of ruins the feeling of like this mystery and beauty of a relationship and love, but it's gonna be very logical, and it's something that you should know. But so many people, like quite soft, emotional, sort of weak people, will disagree with us here. Relationships of any kind, friends or even girlfriends, are all just based on a value exchange. It's literally just us trading something to the other person. So for example, the thing that a man may want at the top of a relationship, even though a lot of guys don't really want to admit this, honestly, it's probably just consistent sex. That's one of our like biggest fundamental primal desires. Then after that, it's like, okay, well, we want to have that, and also like, you know, loving times with a good woman, with whatever we individually value as a good woman. So, you know, my definition of a good woman could be different to yours. But then what we want alongside that is for her to have a personality where she complements our life, especially with our work. Now, you see, on this journey that you've embarked, this journey of going to the gym, becoming more productive, wanting to make more money, you do realize what you're doing here, don't you? You're becoming more masculine. The world around you has told you that you should just stay in comfort and you should be fine being a feminine boy who's not ever attracting women and who jacks off to porn feeling lonely. They've told you that that's okay, but you've realized that it's not, and that you actually want to have the love and the attraction and the admiration of a feminine woman, which means that you need to become more masculine. And becoming more masculine simply means focusing so much more on work, on the mission. This doesn't mean, you know, you have to be some like 20 hours a day work stuff, but it just kind of means that like you start to devalue things like playing around, playing on video games and just chilling, and you start to actually desire like work and progress and this like feeling of like a mission. Like, this is like masculine energy inside of you. So you're becoming more masculine because of this journey, and because of that, because of becoming more masculine, you care more about your work. And so suddenly what you want in this value exchange with a woman that you're getting into a relationship with is some kind of benefit to your work. You don't want it to go down. A masculine man will never ever accept that. A masculine man will never accept his work being sacrificed by getting into a relationship and experiencing love with a woman. You know you're masculine if it's kind of nice, but it's not on the priority list. Like, maybe it's like number 2, number 3, or something like that. It's like your mind and your energy is 90, 95, 99% dedicated to some kind of work. And it doesn't need to be, you know, some career or business. It's like something that feels like some kind of work mission, something like that for you. And so of course, when you get into a relationship, you want that to get better. But so many guys don't realize this, and so they get into relationships which you might find yourself in. They get into relationships relationships with women who don't even support their work or their mission, this main thing that they're focused on with their masculine energy. And in fact, that main thing starts getting sacrificed because this girl doesn't really understand how important it is to this guy. We just have to say this because so many guys don't really hear this, but there's a lot of women out there in the world who aren't even nice people. Now, there's a lot of guys who aren't nice people as well, but we're talking to guys here about attracting women. There's a lot of girls who aren't even nice, and you could even get into a relationship with them and they're not even nice towards you. They don't even care about you. Because if you flip this around and you get into a relationship with a supportive, feminine woman who cares about you the most, your life will get so amazing. Now, first of all, we might get critically analyzed, and someone might call us misogynist. They always say this shit, don't they? Anytime men are talking about being men, which simply just labeled as misogynist. If you're a man, you're a misogynist in these Western countries these days. But this fucking little soy boy with a skinny neck will say to us, okay, we're misogynist, we're sexist, because we want a feminine woman who prioritizes us above everything else. These people will literally say that we're insecure for this. Is it a little bit insecure to think you want to be the absolute top priority for your woman? Is that insecurity, or is that just how relationships have always been, and now in the modern day we're supposed to be so equal and so individual, and women are supposed to be so far away from men? Because I don't think it's insecurity, it's masculinity. You see, someone who has a lot of feminine energy, that means that they prioritize love above everything else. And so if your woman is feminine and you are masculine, it's just natural for you to be the top priority of her mind. Absolute top, above her family, above her career or studies. Literally all of those things are built on top of the foundation of love in her body and her soul. She could have the best grades, the best work, the best time with her family, and she will feel like shit if her love with you isn't right now. If you've been a bit distant, or if you've been a bit mean to her or something. She could get the best grades ever and she still wouldn't be happy if she's got a lot of feminine energy. Now, likewise, she could have shit grades. She could mess up and get hurt. She could literally get deathly injured. Her family could abandon her. All these things. But if they are built on the foundation of her prioritizing your love above everything else, she'll be okay. This is a person with pure feminine energy, and it's somewhat rare to see these days because of how oh man, we're gonna get fucking deep, bro. But the modern sort of feminist movement, how weird it is. The modern feminist movement, feminists have killed off femininity in women. How does this make sense? Feminists have literally convinced women that feminine energy is a bad thing and it's weakness. I will say that again because it blows my fucking mind that I'm seen as a bad person for saying this when it's a total fact, and people don't even realize this. Feminism has convinced women that their feminine energy is a bad thing and they should discard it, sacrifice it, and instead adopt masculine energy. They've told women to not be feminine, to not be supportive towards their husbands, to not be like mothers, and instead go out into the cold world. And bro, it's fucking 8 a.m. right now. All of the women who have fallen victim to feminism are literally getting ready and stuffing themselves into masculine style dress with fucking blazers, and now they're gonna go walk into the cold, hold the coffee cup up at breast height, go into work, and guess what's happening? Guess what's happening to these women who have been convinced not to support their husbands, or to actually get a husband and to have children? Well, now they're just supporting their boss instead. You see, women in general are always going to submit to a man. Honestly, a woman is almost always going to submit to a man. And it used to be that your woman would submit to you. Imagine how fucking beautiful that is, to have a woman who is truly yours, who's literally bearing your child inside of her, who is totally just yours. And so imagine the responsibility that you take, that this woman is yours, you're having children with her. Now it's time to become a man. Now it's time to work hard. Now it's time to provide and be a good, upstanding man, to not waste time with degeneracy. Your woman was supposed to submit to you. And in the modern day, feminism has convinced women that submissiveness is a bad thing and it's weakness. And so they've told them not to submit. Feminists have told your woman or your future wife to not submit to you and instead submit to her boss. A woman is always submitting to a man. Always. A woman is always supporting a man. And now, instead of submitting and supporting you, she's just going to work and supporting her boss instead. That doesn't make any fucking sense. How the modern dating world has unfolded, especially in these Western countries, but honestly, it seems to be even in some Eastern countries and it's all around the globe now because of feminism. I sound like such a fucking sexist, but feminism's not a good thing, bro. And I can't believe I'm saying this because I was raised as a feminist, bro. I was literally raised as a feminist. I would literally put my hand up in school saying, yeah, I'm a feminist. Now when I look at it, I just think it's got plot holes all through it. Oh, bro, it's so fucked, man. And it's led to this rise of this unsupportive woman that you could eventually get into a relationship with, who prioritizes herself and her studies and her career above you, which might seem like a good, healthy thing, right? But if she prioritizes those things above love and relationships, she'll miss out on the greatest gift that a woman has been given, which is the possibility of motherhood. If she's not going to support to you, to a man, she misses out entirely. And we sound these grumpy old, masculine, sexist, misogynist men who are saying what women should do and what they shouldn't do. We're not even telling them what to do. We're literally just observing what's happening. And there's studies that have literally found that all the women who have gotten into careers and performed well and essentially followed the feminist propaganda and they've supported their boss instead of like a potential husband or, you know, the father of their children. They're not happier. In fact, like, bro, imagine this right here, right now. It's 8 a.m. on a Monday. It's 8:07 on a Monday. All of the women who have this belief that they should not support their husband and instead they should go out and work. They're literally on their way to work right now. And I guarantee that they're not happy. I guarantee if me and you went outside right now and I just subtly, obviously it's kind of creepy, but I just subtly recorded the faces of every woman going into these nearby offices, I guarantee, and you know this is true, and any feminist, male feminist soy boy can disagree with us, bro. I guarantee, and we all know this is true, if I recorded them in a creepy way, you would not see one woman smiling on her way to work. You would not see one single woman smiling on her way to work. And maybe, you know, I don't mean to like boast or put this in your face, but bro, my girl's having a fucking nice morning already. She's supporting me. She's submitted to me. She's in the other room watching, like, I'm live streaming right now. I'm live streaming, recording videos. She's in the other room watching me live stream right now. You should see the smile on her face. And to think that this same woman would need to go to work right now if she was a feminist. How crazy is that? Now, I probably should have said this earlier. This does not mean that the enemy is women. Chris Williamson, so he's like a really like famous podcaster, really, really intelligent guy. A lot of the red pillars are what Chris says are level 1 red pill. What he meant by this was that a lot of these like big red pillars that you see, like, you know, they've got like YouTube channels, you know who I'm talking about. They're level 1 red pillars because essentially they're not really helping. In fact, they're making things worse. Now, they're fair enough, they're bringing up some good messages, some good points, but they're actually making the whole dating market still fucked up by, first of all, shouting at women and telling them, oh, they're all sluts, so they're showing like, okay, it's men versus women. But then after that, they're telling men, oh yeah, go fuck as many bitches as possible. Like, yo, high value man can do whatever they want and everything. So it's like, okay, well, women lose out then. So it's just this war of men versus women, and it's never gonna work, bro. Any movement that is trying to like destroy one fucking sex, it's not gonna work. That's like level 1 red pill. I think level 2, maybe level 3, whatever like metric we can use, is when we figure out a way that men and women can come together to neutralize how fucked the modern dating is. Because the thing is, even women aren't even happy with the abundance that they have. You know, like a woman has so many options and everything, and so she doesn't need to support you anymore because she can still go and match with Chad on Tinder. Well, she's still not happy with it. If you ask a girl right here, right now, maybe don't do this, but if you did, just imagine that you went to your class or your work and you asked the women there, like, are they happy with their dating life and their dating history? They'd be like, oh no, like all guys are dicks. All guys just keep fucking me and like disappearing. Like, nah, like dating's just like shit. I just want to be single now. No one's happy with the modern dating standards. Like, no one's winning. Well, I mean, one kind of person is winning. It's the top tier chads who are fucking 50 girls a year. It is not men versus women. It is men plus women versus the problem. And hopefully, I'm going to tell you like just some of the experiences I've had in terms of, you know, having supportive women in your life. And I hope that this doesn't make you feel bad. If anything, it makes you kind of inspired to think, oh shit, like that's a possibility to have in a relationship. That's something that I want. So right now, like you can click off this video if it might like trigger you in some sense, but like I'm just going to talk you through some of the experiences I've had in terms of dating supportive women and some of the acts, like, you know, the experiences like they've done for me, which it's just incredible. So on a small scale right here, right now, it's 8 a.m. on a Monday. I'm just setting up to record this video and my girl brings in both of my water bottles and also a coffee. I didn't even say, like, she asked me if I wanted a coffee and I said, yeah, like in 5 minutes. And she just brought it in. Now that's, I'm some sexist misogynist for that, right? Somehow I've got to be a bad person because I must have like forced her or manipulated her to bring me water and a coffee, right? No, she found pleasure in doing that because she's supportive. A feminine woman's always going to be supportive to a man. Now that she doesn't have to work a normal job, she's going to be supportive towards me. I wrote down the title for this video and it just reminded me of an experience I had with the longest relationship that I've had a few years ago, where I had a girl who was totally supportive of me and the work that I was getting into. I was getting into entrepreneurship. That this girl that I dated a few years ago, she would literally go out of her way to help me with my business. So my business at the time was reselling clothes on eBay. So I'd flip things on eBay, right? And the process was that, you know, I'd buy some things, they'd come to the apartment. When the thing that I was selling would eventually sell, we would need to package it up in like, you know, some plastic packaging thing, write the name and address, go out to the post office and post it. I never did any of that. I was working a job as well. So I would work a job, something would sell, I'd see it on my phone, you know, like, oh, congratulations, this jumper, this hoodie is sold. And you know what, like my system was, I would just screenshot it with the customer's address, send it to the girl that I was dating at the time, and she would do all of the rest. She was so supportive that she was helping me with my business. Think about it, I wasn't paying her to do this. I wasn't forcing her to do this. She literally did it because she was a feminine woman who loved me and wanted to support me. She couldn't have imagined a life not doing that. This girl would go out and post, you know, the clothes that had sold for me and pay for the postage and never even fucking ask me to pay her back or anything. When you become more masculine, you start to experience these like feminine supportive women in your life, and it's one of like the best compliments that you can have. I've said before on like some random video just about maybe a month or two ago that I've had the single biggest improvement to my work life and my success, honestly, by dating my girl. Honestly, I'd love to tell you that it was hardcore discipline and I'm such a disciplined man. And you know, I think I do have above average levels of discipline. But just suddenly dating a supportive woman has just made it so that I can work and not have to think about other things. Imagine you working, imagine you studying, you know, whatever like task you've got. And your beautiful girlfriend knocks on the door and she's already made you a protein shake. You can imagine, like, that's such a small gesture, but that brings a fucking smile to every man. If you truly imagine this right now, imagine you have a girl who you totally love. You know, she's in your house or whatever, and you're just working on something. And without even asking, like, imagine just your girl stood there in the doorway right now, like, I made you a protein shake. That brings a smile to every man. And yet it brings like a fucking aggressive, like scowl to these male feminists who say that somehow that's abusive. They think that we're abusive for this. They think that we're like hateful people for this, for just wanting some protein, man. I will leave you on one final note, which is that if you do want to attract a supportive, feminine woman, the single greatest way to do that is to become more masculine yourself. I have a full guide to masculinity. It's over an hour long, where I literally, you know, this term's kind of weird, masculinity. What does it really mean? I literally break it down in such like stupid, like simple steps that you can take. It's like a full guide that you can watch completely for free. It's on YouTube. It's over an hour long and have like a card pop up. I highly suggest you just go watch all of that and really just learn as much as you can. When you become more masculine, you automatically just polarize women to become more feminine. And when a woman's feminine, she's supportive to you. It's the greatest compliment to your life, honestly. As like a masculine man myself, the greatest like addition of my life has been my girlfriend, honestly. Click and watch that masculinity guide right now. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.